Well, hello there. Happy Tuesday. Dr. Joe from Atlanta. Welcome to Your Wellness for Life, where we discuss many aspects of wellness, which is a state of being. And guess what? Your teenagers fit in there as well. So, again, happy Tuesday. Welcome to Your Wellness for Life. Dr. Joe from Atlanta. Hope you had a good one today. And you got a busy week this week and a lot of things happening. So, keep your eyes and ears open. So tonight's topic is going to be common sense prevails when dealing with rebellious teens. Now, I've been through this, not with two rebellious teens. That's wonderful age between 13 and 19. My last teenager was about 6, 7 years ago, and they survived, and their parents survived. And you will survive too. It is a kind of a temporary state. And you think that once you got through those toddler years, those first 3 years, you had smooth sailing, and you do probably have smooth sailing for about 10 years, and then bam-o, they turn 13, the hormones start flowing. And one big thing that's probably changed since my wife and I went through this is, social media and all that aspect. I'll come back to that. But, however you slice it or dice it, common sense prevails when dealing with teenagers. And rebellious or defiance there's a big continuum there. And I understand that some rebelliousness may be pretty minor and some defiance can be pretty major that may actually require professional help. But I've got a few tips for you here and a couple of resources. This is a subject that has always interested me. And since I'm in the business of helping build families and their parents, especially their mothers, come back to talk to me about how their family is doing. I always ask how the kids are doing. This topic sometimes comes up. So, all right, common sense prevails when dealing with rebellious teens. And so I've got a few rules here that or practical tips for the parents of the teens. So, number one, don't stress out. It is a temporary state. You will get through it. Adolescence is a time of separation from parental norms and the development of self identity, resulting in strained relationships and autonomous decision making that goes against most values and family beliefs. Essentially, your child is trying to come into their own. And so don't stress out, rule number one. And probably one of the most important things, number two, is to establish some boundaries. My kids are millennials, and they are famous now. There's about 75 million of them out there. And how did we get those millennials? Well, probably parents like myself that try to make life for our children just too good. Maybe not enough boundaries. You always want to make it better for your kids, but if you make it too easy or too much better for them, it may actually be to their detriment. So you have to have some boundaries that allow them to feel empowered to make choices while clearly understanding the consequences. And so whether you're dealing with a slightly defiant toddler, 3 or 4 years old, or you have that 13, 14-year-old child, they all need boundaries until they are on their own and young adults, and then they can make their own mistakes and pay for it. Number three, stay consistent with your rules and structure for your home. So just having boundaries or talking about it, if you're not consistent with it, it's not going to work. So you got to be consistent with your rules and the structure in your home. Number four, be open. Communication seems to be the answer to everything. Whether it's an issue between couples and spouses, or whether it's with children or neighbors, communication is the answer to everything. So we got to be open, and you got to offer times to have family meetings where ideas can be expressed non-judgmentally. Now, if you've got a defiant teen that won't even talk to you, then obviously you've got some major problems. But try to keep those lines of communications open, very important. And number 5, try to be regular with those with your lines of communication. Provide some kind of a regular check-in, whether it's daily or weekly, probably more often, better than less often, where you spend at least 3, 4, 5 minutes checking in with them about their day. And next, number 6, evaluate punishment. So you've got your rules and your structure, and if there's something that you're unhappy about, or the defiance, the rebelliousness requires some kind of punishment, make sure that the punishment fits the behavior and try not to over punish or overreact where it no longer has an effect on your child. So make sure that the punishment fits the crime. Number 7, be a united front. So if you've got a two-parent home, you got a spouse, make sure both of you are on the same page, singing from the same sheet of music. There's nothing worse than you having a defiant, rebellious teen playing parents off of each other. And so you got to be consistent. And finally, address the behavior without bashing your child. You want to continue to build their self-esteem and self-worth and not give them a reason to consider you an enemy. Then those line of communications will probably break down. So the main thing is keep in mind is that balancing a healthy relationship with your teen and the need to make them feel safe enough to express themselves is the primary goal in managing unpredictable and often unnerving behavior and making it out of the teen years unscathed. So those are the 8 tips for dealing with teenagers. Prevention, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So keep those lines of communication open, love your children, and they will feel that, and then they will probably never become too defiant or rebellious to you. So don't stress out. It's just a phase. Establish boundaries. Be consistent with those boundaries. Be open. Keep the lines of communication open. Check in frequently with them. Evaluate your punishments and make sure that they fit the crime. Be a united front if there are several of you involved, and then address the behavior without bashing your child. If you need resources to that, let me know. Send me a comment or a message, and I've got another one that's entitled Rebellious Teens, 25 Practical Tips to Parent Them Effectively. And so lots of tips out there, lots of advice. And probably the thing that has changed since I've gone through this, and my wife and I have gone through this, is social media and the effect that it's had on teens. And luckily, when we went through this, that wasn't quite a big thing. And mostly their smartphones were used for communication and being able to reach their parents or somebody if they were in trouble. So now with social media, unfortunately, it's become very addicting. And one parenting advice is to probably keep the social media out of the hands of kids under the age of 9th grade or high school. Try to keep it out of the middle schoolers. They'll probably fight you on that, but that might be a good thing. Social media has become very, very addicting, and I applaud the parents that have put their foot down and said, not going to do it. So that's probably going to be a better strategy. So I hope this is helpful. Dr. Joe from Atlanta. Welcome to Your Wellness for Life. Happy Tuesday, and we'll catch you all tomorrow. God bless. See you tomorrow. Bye.